And first, Leslie?
It's a bug coming.
Can't kiss you yet. Hi.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
It's for the after party. Can we just go away on that?
Yeah, I've waited a while.
You guys ready?
Y'all ready? I guess.
Ready?
You're in charge.
Deep breath. Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody for being here and welcome everybody. To me, this is a special day. These are two people that are very dear to me. And I thank you all for taking time. Some people have traveled from afar to be here. So, and I want to say about this day, today really isn't the beginning of a journey. To me, I look at it more as a milestone in your relationship. It's a milestone that kind of is a culmination of the time when you first met and to getting to this day. And so I want to speak to marriage. Marriage as an institution, I think, is a beautiful thing. But marriage as a process can also be a challenge. You know, I think if you work hard, the challenge can be very rewarding. And so just remember that marriage is a commitment. Marriage takes a lot of hard work, and marriage takes a lot of dedication. Dedication to each other is the most important thing. So now I want to I'm going to tell a little bit of a story here. I'm going to tell a little story about my involvement in Neville and Michelle's relationship. Many of you know this story, but for those of you who don't, Neville and I have known each other for, as far as we can recount, 12 years. I think a little bit longer, but we've had the pleasure of working together side by side in the same office for the last 5 years. And during that time, I would say our relationship started on a professional level, but I can truly say I call Neville one of my friends. I mean, we spend a lot of time roaming around. We spend a lot of times, you know, we work hard, but we also have a lot of fun times. I've gotten to know Neville's routines downtown, where he shops, where he takes his dry cleaning, where he picks up his Baileys for his Saturday morning golf games. And we have a routine on Fridays of getting a lottery ticket every Friday, hoping to win the big one. And through the last 5 years, you know, Neville and I have shared triumphs personally and professionally. We've also gone through some hard times together personally. And so, Neville, I'm glad to call you my friend. And so with Michelle, my relationship with Michelle started through my friendship with the Ramage family. Amy met my wife a few years back, probably 3 or 4 years ago, and they trained together and worked out together and ran together. And through that came an introduction to Ryan. And we have kids that have attended the same school. And so if anybody knows Amy and Ryan, you know that they like to entertain and have people at their houses. And so many evenings and weekends were spent having barbecues at the Ramage family home. When I first met Michelle was when Amy and Ryan moved into their new house. For those of you who've been there, you know there's a lot of activities going on in the house. There's cows, and there's turkeys, and there's chickens. And when Amy and Ryan first moved in, there was fences to be built, and trees to be trimmed, and trees to be planted. And during that time is when I met Michelle, and it was funny because a lot of times Michelle and I would just sit and talk. So much so that I remember on more than one occasion Ryan would yell across the field to quit distracting his mom. She's not getting work done. And so, and we talked about a lot of things. Nothing in particular. I don't know if it was anything of substance, but we just talked. We talked about kids, family. I know we talked about tomatoes and who made the best salsa from our garden fresh tomatoes. And so, and I'm not sure what came first, whether it was my question or whether it was Michelle's comment, but I either asked, are you ready to start dating again? Or she may have asked me, do you know any eligible bankers?
No. This guy.
I said, okay.
You want to date this guy I work with.
Because when I thought of Michelle, I thought she's soft-spoken, but she's very pleasant. And that's the way I would describe her. And so I kind of had Neville in the back of my mind. And so, Ryan, I'm going to point out to you again. The first time I asked that question, Ryan was sitting across the room watching football, I think, and he told me, she's not ready to date yet. Which Michelle and I laughed, and I think we kind of chuckled, thinking maybe that Ryan wasn't ready for Michelle to date yet. But that's just a fun memory. And so, within, I remember specifically telling Michelle, I was a gentleman that I work with. I think you would like. He's very outgoing. He's very active. He likes fine food, fine wine. He's been known on a Saturday morning to just get up, drive down to the beach, get a nice glass of wine, get something to eat, walk 1 mile on the beach, walk back and drive home, and that's a content Saturday. So I think that's what probably piqued a little bit of interest for Michelle. So then I took a picture of Michelle, and got her phone number when she was ready. She said one day she was ready to meet him. I took a picture of Neville, and I showed each other's pictures, and we passed that milestone. They both decided that they thought each other was attractive enough. But Neville didn't call her. And I'd pop into his office, and I'd say, Neville, have you called Michelle yet? Oh, I was playing golf with my buddies at the golf course. Oh, we had something going on. There was always a reason he hadn't called, and inadvertently, I think it was my mistake. I apologize, Michelle, but I'm telling the story. Neville was 58 at the time, and so was Michelle. But in describing Michelle, I said she's this wonderful woman. She worked for a career in the school district. She's retired. She's got great kids, and I think she's 65. And which I was 7 years wrong. And Neville, 65, he thought maybe was a little bit out of his range. Maybe she wasn't going to be active enough, or maybe it was a little too old. And I assured him, I said, she does not look 65. She looks great. She's active. She ran the stairs with Amy at the U.S. Bank Tower. And so on a subsequent visit back to the Ramage farm, I said, Ryan came up to me and he said, is this guy ever going to call my mom? He hasn't called my mom. And I said, okay, I'm going to have him call. And I told Neville, I walked into Neville's office and I said, Neville, you need to call Michelle.
We were walking, we were on one of our walking.
On our walking trips. I said, you need to call Michelle. I said, I don't care if you talk to her once and never talk to her again. I don't care if you never see her. You need to call her. I said you were going to call her. You're making me look bad. Will you give her a call? And he finally said, I will call her.
Yeah.
And so he calls her, and I said, "How was the conversation?" And I was trying not to be, too nosy, but because he and I were close and talked together, and he said it was a really, really good conversation. I really enjoyed it, and I think at that point you would schedule a date to get together and go out. We did. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you went out. I was on a Friday night or Thursday night. Saturday. Okay. And you went downtown. And we went to a variety of different venues, tasting different wines and different food.
Walking tour. Yep.
And what started as a simple date turned into a 5 or 6 hour evening together?
Yeah.
Something like that. And so when I asked Neville about it, I could see a glow in his eyes. I mean, I've known Neville, and I could see that this was going to go good. And it was the same reaction I got from Michelle. When I talked to Michelle, I said, how was it? And she said Neville was polite, he was a gentleman, she really appreciated his willingness to spend time with her. But I knew it was getting serious when Neville took her to the Elks to introduce Michelle to his friends at the Sacred Elks Club. So,
closest white trash bar in my house.
but with that, I've had kind of a unique position. I've had a front row seat to their relationship, and I've watched it grow from a phone call to a first date, to trips to the beach, to bike rides, to concerts on the waterfront, to a trip to New Zealand.
Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
Yeah, did you ever think of your mother going to a Foo Fighters concert?
Kind of jealous.
Yeah.
To a trip to New Zealand, and to now this day. And so I just want to tell you, this is a special day for me, and I know this is a special day for you, and this is a special day for the families, and so I'm honored to be a part of it. So I thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, but yeah, we call Aaron. His nickname is Cupid.
So this is Cupid, yes, Cupid. So this is the point now. Are you guys ready to exchange rings and exchange vows?
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to face each other. And Michelle, I'm going to have you grab Neville's ring. And take his hand and his 9 fingers.
Here we go.
Mama.
And I'm going to have you use the vows of Neville. Michelle, Neville chose to write the vows.
We didn't memorize it.
No. I choose you to stand by your side and to sleep in your arms, to be joy to your heart and food for your soul, to learn with you and grow with you even as life and time changes us both, to make our home a warm, welcoming place for us and for our family. I love you and I choose you to share my life with.
Neville, I'm going to ask that you grab Michelle's ring. Take your hand and place it on her finger.
Okay. And then we read your last. All right. So Michelle, today Together, let's build a home filled with love, learning, laughter, and sugar.
So in a traditional wedding ceremony, this is where you would normally pronounce Neville and Michelle, husband and wife, and have the bride and groom kiss. But I want to say something before, because this is something that Neville and Michelle both shared with me. It's very, very important to them. Today we're celebrating the union, and they're bringing their lives together. But to them, it's more important. To them, it's bringing families together, joining families together. We're standing here in this beautiful home that they bought. And they wanted to stress that they hope to bring all the families together to share memories, participate in old traditions, and start new traditions as a new family. So I ask that in each one of you. And I have a question to you before we close.
Okay.
As I said, marriage is an important institution. I ask that you continue to love and care for each other, nurture each other, and cherish each other. Not just cherish this day, but cherish the memories and all the things that brought us this way. Can I ask the two of you to do that together? Well, with that, I will now pronounce you husband and wife, and then we can kiss your bride. Please join me in introducing Mr. and Mrs. This is Neville and Michelle Bassett. I'm bored.
Wait, no,
Okay.
Speeches?
we don't have a speech.
No.
No.
No, we want to do a few pictures.
Yeah, we want to do some pictures outside. And so the one we'd like to do is we want to get the grandchildren on the rail with us.
Can I like speed out?